A very good afternoon and welcome to Antalya in Turkey, and in particular the Kepeş Sports Hall for the first of our 15 European Championship categories in this, the final run-up to London. At this particular moment you're looking at the contenders here, 9 competitors in the women's 48 kilo class, and Nurdan Karagöz is the representative for Turkey. More about who might have been here a little later on. Silvia Angelova, some of you might have remembered her lifting for Bulgaria, but these days she represents Azerbaijan. There's a 23 kilo spread in this particular class, and alongside myself, David Goldstrom, as ever, a very warm welcome to Randy Strossen from Iron Mind. Randy, very good afternoon.
Thank you, Dave. Pleasure to be here.
Indeed, and you're never quite certain when you take on the first category here what it's going to bring for the championships, but this is a really well attended championships with over 275 competitors, men and women here, some 36 countries represented actually on the lifting platform. And here you can see the young woman who produced the best efforts in the B group. This is Giovanna D'Alessandro earlier this afternoon. Went 63 kilos and then 67 kilos, second attempt in the snatch to produce the best performance in that half of the competition. She then went on to the clean and jerk, and this was a very good sequence by her, 80, 85 and then 88 kilos on the bar to produce the best performance in the B division, and depending on how well the competitors do in the final coming up now will depend on her final ranking position. This is, of course, the last qualifying opportunity for the London Olympic Games for the European athletes, and in simple terms, the higher they finish, the more points they get, the more points they get, the more possibilities of places. Big countries like Russia and host nation Turkey, they've already achieved their complement of 6 men and 4 women to go forward to the Olympic Games. But there are some countries who only have 1 or 2 lifters who will be trying to look for Olympic qualification. But here you can see the past winners, Nurjan Taylan. Now you might have expected to see her. You can see she's won the last 4 editions, but the fact is, in an out-of-competition anti-doping test, she was found to be guilty of taking an illegal substance, and that's the reason why she didn't compete in the World Championships and is not here to defend her title. It's pretty sad in that regard. There's the warm-up room. It's a long room with 10 platforms, and when they weighed in the last hour, the heaviest was the young Romanian Elena Andries, 47 kilos 98. She's the heaviest of the class, and Nurdan Karagöz, representing Turkey, the lightest of the class at 47.28. And the records, well, will we be troubled by them? I think we might get 1 or 2 before the week's out, Randy, but actually, as ever, this is all about winning medals first and records afterwards.
Right, and the challenge here really is to keep the Asian countries within sight. Typically, these are classes where the Asian continent is dominant. We're still going to see some outstanding lifting and some close competition. Lifters still warming up. This is where the strategy begins. Lifters will be eyeing each other. Coaches will be watching, trying to psych each other out. What's she taking? How good does she look? Can I beat her? And here we come, I think. First attempt in the first class.
Indeed, and it's the first of the 2 French women represented in this medal final.
Some pressure here. She needs to make this attempt to get her confidence going. 65 kilos.
Well, as ever, Randy, we always say, first lift, done it a million times, this shouldn't be a problem, but she's 17, fast improving. Junior world silver medalist. Opens up, and that is very straightforward.
Looked very, very easy. Just what you would want. Has some real smoke in that. Lost her number. That's why she's going back. Fell off. Those are just stuck on. Snatch is a very, very quick lift. It'll be completed in less than 1 second. Hopefully we'll see an instant replay here. Watch it. She'll separate the bar, explode when it gets about knee height, and get her body under it. Very easy.
And that, by the way, the stage on which she's lifting there, very much the model that you're going to see at the London Olympic Games, produced by Ilaiko. And the bar going up 3 kilos for the appearance of her French teammate. Now, you might have once upon a time known her as Melanie Noel, but married, and that's the reason why we missed her for a couple of seasons while she was getting married, starting a family, and back on stage. And the highlight of her lifting career came in the 2007 championships. That was in Strasbourg on her own French stage when she finished up in the bronze medal position in the clean and jerk phase of the European Championships. But she's working her way back to that sort of form.
Very nice lift. Watch on this lift, the bar is moving as if it's on tracks, even though it's completely out in space. Also notice how different this lifter is built compared to the one before. Very tall for a class, which is to say thin, not short and muscular. There's the explosion, reverses directions, has to lock the bar out overhead, put that exactly where it had to be.
So, Anne Michel.
France following France.
Yeah, she competed in the recent World Championships last November in Paris. Totaled up 153 kilos on that occasion. Now, this is 3 kilos up on what she contributed in Paris, 65 kilos there. That's what she finished on.
She got rocked back a little bit on her heels. You'll see when she's down in the squat, what we call the receiving position, but was able to save that. Probably swung the bar when it was at about knee height. We might be able to pick it up if we see this in slow motion. Watch the bar when it gets to knee height, bangs the hips into it maybe. You can see there she's fighting to keep the bar from going back overhead. Nice lift. Had to make an adjustment, but she's on the board again with a good lift.
So that's definitely going in the right direction. And in picture here, this is Estefania Juan, twice a European champion in 2006 and also in 2007. But in recent years, somewhat of a former performer in the sense that we haven't really seen that sort of form for 5 or 6 years now from her. And interesting to see what she can bring to the competition stage today. In the World Championships, 73 kilos, 90 for 163, but when she was winning the European Championships, she was as high as 189, which remains her personal best total. Been a great servant to Spanish women's weightlifting over a long period, more than a decade representing her country. As you would expect, Randy.
Yeah, we're getting off to a good start here, though. Sometimes things don't start off this smoothly. Getting some good positive momentum going. Another example, by the way, of a very tall lifter. You'll see the sport's forgiving in terms of body types that can be successful. Close up of the feet, that's where the power comes from. Everything's transmitted through the feet to the platform. She's happy.
Bar going up to 70 kilos for Anne Michel.
Okay, a little bit of pressure on her now. She's got a couple of good lifts. She'd like to go 3 for 3. Would really put her in great position for the clean and jerk, psychologically as well as physically. A couple of last minute instructions from the coach. What she's doing now probably is either making her mind blank or she's visualizing what that lift is going to look like if it's successful. Chalking up. It's just to keep the hands nice and dry on the bar for a good grip. You have to hang onto the bar very tight in weightlifting, very tightly. If you open up your hand as you're pulling, your body is going to shut down. You just won't pull as hard. Well, that was the brain quitting. She was psyched out. I'm not sure what her PR is right around this stage in her preparation, but her brain just shut down. That's why she quit pulling. She should have exploded at that point in reverse directions, but she wasn't able to commit psychologically. There it is.
The 68 actually is as good as she's been. So again, this was, as you say, not just physically but mentally going into a new territory. So Bulgaria next, Natalia Draganova, just 18 years of age and coming from a federation where, quite honestly, there have been probably 3 or 4 editions of reorganization. Some of their athletes have found a new home in Azerbaijan, but this is the 18-year-old, weighed in at 47 kilos 79, so towards the heavier stage, and there the little clock telling you how much time she's got left.
Not blindingly fast, but she made the good lift. It's nice to see Bulgaria back here. I think they've been out of international competition for a bit in recent years. And
they have. I mean, it's as much as anything reorganizing their federation.
Well, they didn't pay the fine either, right? And so they chose to sit out rather than pay the fine.
7th in the Junior Europeans last season. And now very workmanlike looking Melanie Bardi striding onto the stage for her second attempt at 71.
Boy, another really nice lift. Pull up, jump down. That's sort of the nature of the snatch. Back in the warm-up room here. Leaders haven't started yet. Their weights are getting heavier, getting closer to the openers. Separating the bar from the platform and the explosion, reversing directions, locking it out overhead. She does it faster than I can say it.
The hall we're in is in a place called Kepes, which is a suburb of Antalya, which is Turkey's #1 holiday resort, just getting into the swing of the season at the moment.
I don't see Zlatan Vanov back there. Is he still coaching Azerbaijan, the former Bulgarian great weightlifter? I don't see him.
Quite a lot of musical chairs going on.
Yeah. And here's the lifter right who came from Bulgaria to lift for Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Silvia Angelova, one of the more experienced lifters, age 29 now. Set a target today of 175 for her total. We'll obviously hope to do better than that. 72 kilos to start with. Very straightforward.
This lifter's very fast under the bar.
I think this was one of those situations where one or two of the Bulgarian lifters who got caught up in the whole melee of being fined and being out of competition, Randy, and she had the opportunity to go and say, look, I'm 29, if I don't move now, my chance will go on completely.
Yeah, we have to realize this is their profession. This is what she does for a living. It's her identity, it's her source of income. So she needs to go where the opportunities are best for her.
So, second attempt now for Draganova.
Watch her as she goes under the bar compared to the last lifter, the difference in speed.
Now this will be for the lead by a kilo.
Well, I remember watch how high she pulls this bar and still doesn't want to go under it. I guess we would see the slow motion, but just complete breakdown. Okay, here it comes. Watch how high she pulls the bar. Look at this. And still doesn't change directions. It's a moment of commitment. You have to race under the bar. It's a lot of weight. Usually lifters don't get psyched out on the snatch. Clean and jerk's a whole different story. Coach is working with her. She's going to be following herself, which means she's the next lifter back out. It's mental. She's smiling. Look, she's cracking jokes. It's like...
And you've got still waiting in the wings to start Nurdan Karagos of Turkey, Marzena Kapinska of Poland, who must have a really solid chance of doing well, if not taking the title today. Under 23 European champion last season, Marzena. And also waiting in the rings, Jenny Pagliaro, who's a familiar face to us, a terrific young junior, and has on 3 occasions ended up with the overall bronze medal in the European Championships, but on a couple of other occasions, like the Olympic Games, just once again the mental side of it has found her out, and she's failed to get a total. But it was back in 2008 on the eve of the Beijing Olympics that she put in her best performance, and hopefully when we see her she'll do something similar today.
And then come through in London.
Draganova, third attempt, I beg your pardon, 73 kilos. She's currently in third place. This would take her into the lead for a moment at least.
Well, it's a cookie cutter repeat of the second attempt. She's going to get set. She'll separate the bar from the platform, she'll start to pull, and then the on switch goes to off right about there. Threw away 2 attempts, she knows it, can't get him back now.
Melanie Bardis, 74 kilos. Now this is a 3 kilo increase, and again this will take her into first place. Currently in second spot in the snatch phase, and stays where she is, I'm afraid. So
went for that, she couldn't block it out. That's the first actual miss, I mean, in my opinion, where the lifter went for it, goes, tries to get under it, bar's a little bit low, a little bit out front, and that result is it comes crashing down.
And the bar going up a kilo to 75 kilos. And there's a really good example, Randy, of that mental preparation, just closing your eyes, visualizing the task ahead. Second attempt. So again, this is for the lead. And she really needs this one, because with those lifters waiting in the wings, if she wants to stay in touch, needs to get this lift.
Quick under the bar. Watch this in slow motion, even it'll be fast. Pleased to make that. Back in the warm-up room. Okay, now watch. When the bar gets to its maximum height, she's going to reverse directions and go under it, and that's where the quick under the bar thing applies. Right there. Boom. Races it to the bottom, catches the bar in outstretched arms, has to hold it there, gets a down signal, good lift.
Silvia Angelova now trying to regain the advantage. The bar staying at 75 kilos. So for her, this is a 3 kilo increase. And this is up in the area that she achieved in Paris last November in the Worlds. So she's right at this moment on her personal best mark this to equal it. Well, for me, that was slightly better than the first one.
Yeah, first one was good. This was also good, and I didn't know that equal to PR makes it even better. And this is the right place to have big lifts. Separates the bar, explodes, fixes it, stands up, good lift.
And the crescendo rises in the hall. Well, you might have thought, they thought that it was the Turkish lifter who was about to come on, but the chess game being played backstage now by the coaches to jostle for position. And it's Jenny Pagliaro who is in picture at the moment.
We wonder if she has nightmares from the last Olympics and is hoping for things to be a lot better. As you said, she looked really good coming into Beijing, and then everything fizzled at the actual Olympic Games.
Just reverting to the B group earlier in the day, for those of you watching with us in Great Britain, two lifters in that B group, Joanne Calvino, who totaled up 150, and Hannah Powell, who sadly didn't get a clean and jerk in and didn't total. But back to Jenny Pagliaro, 77 kilos. This would take us straight into first place.
Well, she stuck that.
3 white lights, no problem there.
This lift starts very slowly. Part of that is because the beginning of the lift isn't very hard. The lifters try and put the bar in the right position for the explosion above the knees. No problem at all there with that.
And Yoran Karagos coming onto the stage for our opening lift, the world bronze medalist, the best European at the Worlds in Paris, opening up here on 77 kilos. Her body weight comes into play. She's the lightest of the class, so this would take her into the lead.
Quite an adjustment in that bottom position. She had to work to save that lift. She's got kind of nasty looking arm lock too. Arms look like they're ready to go. It's probably actually hyperextended that right hand. I wonder if she tore a callus. Could be a factor possibly later. Now watching the bottom position, she's going to rock back, hips are going back. That's trying to keep her body under the bar so that she keep the bar overhead. Good adjustment, makes the lift. It wasn't a pretty lift, but it was good.
So 77 kilos. She did lift 80 kilos both in the World Championships and last year.
Little animation.
So Elena Andres coming out onto the stage. First attempt, 78 kilos. And this is the youngest of all the contenders tonight. And quite often, when you're 17, 18, you improve pretty quickly. This is already 3 kilos, 4 kilos, in fact, more than she achieved when winning Junior World Silver last season. As you probably noticed, right down on the countdown clock, just a couple of seconds, so she took her time, but it's a good start, and she gets the lift and goes into first place.
She rolled the bar well back toward the back edge of the platform. I was expecting a mad sprint forward, but but look at that one little step. Seems very calm out there.
Second event.
So at this moment, Elena Andres from Nurdan Karagos, Jenny Pagliaro in third place at the moment. Estefania won with one attempt to come. And here she is. So Estefania, 47 kilos 64, 78 kilos on the bar. So this would take her ahead of the young Romanian, but it is her last shout in this half of the competition.
That's two nice successes. A little too heavy today.
And again, a lifter who 6-7 years ago, 83 to 85 kilos were totals in this half of the competition, which she regularly achieved. But maybe 30 isn't that old, but maybe the year's just beginning to catch up now.
There's a little bit of the fire in the belly too. Maybe she's got other interests now.
Well, she's also a team player for the Spanish. More of that in a moment, which is something that happens. We'll explain a little bit more. But now Silvia Angelova for Azerbaijan. She actually switched from Bulgaria to Azerbaijan after the Europeans in 2010. Wasn't actually allowed to lift last year in the Europeans because her change of nationality had not come through.
Which amounted to transfer money. That was another nice lift. Boy, three good ones here. Yeah, they had to pay a fairly significant amount of money before they beat Azerbaijan, before the Bulgarians would release her officially. Nice lift. Three good successes.
Jenny Pagliaro, who spent much of her time down in Sicily, in Palermo. And now Nurdan Karagos, bar going to 80 kilos.
It's a successful but a little bit rough opener. Let's see what this one looks like. Right arm. I'm amazed that arm didn't go. I mean, she looks like she's in broken arm position when it's a good lift, but when the bar cranks out behind like that and puts a lot of stress on the elbow, it's when the arm will tend to go. Her arms hyperextend, I think, which is why they look a little unusual anyway, but look at that right arm. Oh my goodness, we're just looking at it.
Yeah, inevitably, you've got a sense that she's feeling the Turkish responsibility. One of the under-ministers of sport is here, the mayor's in the audience as well, and you sense that actually she would feel just that little bit more pressure.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what's making the difference here, but she's off to a rough start here. And I think you can see the pressure weighing on her. She's missed her second attempt, missed it by quite a lot. Not that that really matters. You either make it or you don't, but that wasn't too close.
Just to put it into context, in the World Championships where she got a bronze medal overall, she got it on body weight of 183 kilos, but Tian Huan of China, who's a bit of a star to say the least, actually won the gold medal in Paris with 207 kilos. Well, that just gives you an idea of the gulf. I mean, what's that? That's 17, that's 24 kilos difference. That's a big gap. So out again to take on 80 kilos, this third attempt, but it would put her into first place. And still Marżena Kapinska of Poland in the wings, yet to start.
Closer. I almost thought she was going to make that. You know, the way she pumped her hips at the beginning, too, for that plyometric start, you had a feeling maybe she was going to pull this off, but not quite. Let's watch. There's that little bit of hip pumping. Pop. Tries to save it. No.
And again, the Turks, of course, without Nurjan Thailand, Randy, who, you know, would regularly be lifting around 90 kilos here, had she had the possibility to come on this stage, and that would have made a big difference because the Europeans last year won 95, Minsk 2010, 208 kilos, the sort of total that she produced. And she's really, in this class, Nurjan, historically been the only real challenger to the Asian threat. Now, Marzena Karpinska, first attempt, 81 kilos for the outright lead for the under-23 European champion of last season.
A little bit of a dance as she was recovering with that, but no problem lifting the bar and getting her body under it. Watch, she'll have to move pretty rapidly to her left to save the bar as she's recovering. Under it. She's leaning over to the left, and now she's got to run over that way to keep her body under the bar. Good lift, though.
Peliaro, 81 kilos. Now Jenny weighed in at 47.76. Karpinska, 47.74. So just a fraction heavier. Well, that leaves her down in 5th place with only one attempt to come.
81 kilograms, and now
Watching for a replay here, there's the intensity, thinking about the lift, at least keeping negative thoughts out of her mind. Started with her feet very close together. We're not going to see that on this replay. Bar comes down in front. Probably just not quite high enough to fix it. Andrea's coming out. She had a good opener, very calm. This is a very young lifter. Big stage for her. This is a 3 kilo increase from the first attempt. Just as she did on the first, rolled the bar to the back edge of the platform. That suggests that she might think she's going to have to run forward to save it. Didn't on the first attempt. Let's watch this one closely.
Well, that would have moved her up one place to second, but she stays in the snatch bronze medal position at the moment.
Yeah, she's not running forward. Maybe she's just scared of us, and she's trying to back away with that bar. She's so quiet looking out there for such an explosive sport. I don't know.
Jenny marching on. Such a good junior. 4 times she won the junior European title before she took on the seniors.
Yeah, she was a great hope for Italy. It's that close foot position. Good. Well, that's nice. Nice to make a correction on an important lift like that. Come back and succeed after you'd missed it. 81 kilos.
Yeah, she's equal now with Karpinska, but of course that fraction heavier means she only goes into the silver medal position. But she's very much a lifter who needs that early good result to boost her confidence. All too often we've seen, the disasters coming in and suddenly everything just evaporates, but good that she's had a decent start.
Smelling salts. Now, I wonder if that's going to give her a little bit more zip out there, and crossed herself coming up. She needs a little bit more fire, in my opinion, on the snatch. it's all going to come from within ultimately, but outwardly she just seems a little too calm for this lift.
Pulls the bar back to give her a little more space to work with on the platform if she needs it. It's just a sense that she might have a step or two forward.
Yeah, as long as she runs forward, she doesn't have a lot of leeway if she decides to go in reverse.
10 seconds. She always seems to cut it quite late. 5.
Closer. You know, the snatch is such an explosive lift. You're used to seeing lifters move really fast. She is not one, and could have been a pretty nice lift had she made it. You know, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But not the kind of debut she would want here, though, frankly, tonight.
And essentially it's left the first half of the competition at Karpinska's mercy because she's the only lifter with attempts remaining. She's in the lead by virtue of body weight over Jenny Pagliaro, and so these 2 attempts, attempt number 2 coming up and a third attempt, could give her a nice cushion going into the second half of the competition. So 83 kilos on the bar. This is a weight she has achieved. Made that look very straightforward. One of the things I should have just mentioned, Randy, was about her when she won the under-23 championship last year. She actually had moved up to 53 kilos, has come back down to 48 kilos for this competition. And at 48 kilos, 83 kilos actually equals her personal best. So the next one is a new mark.
This was a conservative increase, and I don't know if that was because the opener wasn't as easy as they hoped it would be. Slight adjustment again to the left this time when she stood up, but overall I would say this lift looked a little easier, a little bit more under control than the opener, so things are going the right direction. Warm-up room once again. And we're down to the last attempt. Karpinska falling herself. She's on the board for 85 kilos. Put this in perspective, the senior world record in this class is 95 kilos. So this isn't right on top of that, but on the other hand, this is nothing to sneeze at. 85 kilos, you got to remember you're looking at a 48 kilo woman lifting this.
Stand by 2 points.
Marzyna Karpińska.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Stop talking, please. Don't talk. Again.
So Marzena, bar at 85 kilos. Now this could be pretty useful to get this sort of advantage, get a 4 kilo advantage going into the second half of the competition.
Another 2 kilo increase once again. Cautious, and coaches probably know what they're doing here.
But this is definitely a new personal best at 48 kilos on a competition stage. I sense that she will have done this quite a few times back in the training hall.
And that might be the reason for the relative baby steps here, because they're trying to boost her confidence, showing her in small increments that she can do this.
Remember, she's come into the Polish women's team a little later than some of their stars of 10 years ago. So she's very much a going forward athlete. More than half a minute, plenty of time. And now goes to work. Locks on. The odd step forward, but that's a very good little sequence there. To be fair, she wasn't challenged by the other contenders as hard as we might have wished, Randy, but nonetheless, actually, she just controlled what she needed to control, and she's got her reward.
Nice workmanlike execution. 3 lefts each time. She had to walk forward a little bit, sometimes to the left, sometimes straight forward, but 3 lifts, 3 successes. She's the leader. She did what she had to do, and you said this is a PR for her in this bodyweight class internationally? Yeah. Good work.
Nice way to go into the break, and we'll bring you the updated the captions, but I can tell you that Marzena Kaspinska, she's taken the snatch gold medal and a 4-kilo advantage over Jenny Pagliaro going into the second half, the clean and jerk phase, with Silvia Angelova of her newly adopted Azerbaijan. There you are. 3 good lifts from her, 72, 75, 78, and she's got the bronze medal in the snatch. And there you can see that costly 2 failures for the young Romanian, the youngest of the class, Elena Andres, and Turkey, well, some work to do. 77 kilos. She finds herself 8 kilos off the pace at the halfway stage. And there you can also see Joanne Calvino and Hannah Powell, who lifted for Great Britain earlier in the day in the B group, and that's the full ranking of the class so far. And we're going to take a little break. The athletes have about 10 minutes to get ready, and we'll be back with you very shortly for the clean and